Hello Boosted fam and welcome back to another stationery review video. In today's video we're going to have a look at the pack of 60 dual tip marker pens from Scribbles That Matter. For those of you who may not be familiar with the company Scribbles That Matter, they mainly do journals for bullet journaling, and I actually used one of their journals as one of my bullet journals, and I really enjoyed this journal here. The journals are great. They have an iconic version with the doodles on it and a pro version without the doodles, and they also realized the bullet planner, which is sort of like a hybrid bullet journal slash planner item, and I did a review of that item if you're interested. Now Scribbles That Matter a couple of weeks ago announced on Instagram that they would release a non-journal item, and that's where these marker pens come from. Now the video is not sponsored by Scribbles That Matter, but I did get this pack from the company for a review video. So let's start with the package. As you can see here, all of the 60 pens are stored in this package that reminds me of a pack of Sprinkles, and I can say that on one hand I really like the design, but something that I don't particularly like is the color of the package. I'm not really a fan of black, and I was expecting actually something that would match maybe this blue here, but that's, you know, my personal taste. As you can see here on the side as I move it around, there's no much to be seen. Here to describe real quick the product, so there is a brush side and a liner side, and we'll have a look at both of those. Now before we actually open the box, I think that it's important to address the price of this item so that we can get a first idea of where this pack stands in terms of the quality of the product. So I was not able to find the item on the official Scribbles That Matter website. I think they haven't added to the website yet, but you can find it on Amazon, and it's $24.99, which is actually very cheap. So I did some quick math to know the price of one pen, and since the pack is $24.99 for 60 pens, that gives us $0.41 per pen. And if we compare that to the Tombos, which are of course the most famous competitors, you can see here we have a Tombow and they have a brush and a liner on the other side, I was able to find on Amazon the pack of 96 pens for $140.62, which was actually pretty cheap. This pack of Tombow would give us 68 cents per pen. So if we do some extra math again, so you can see 40 plus 20, which would be the 50%, we would get to 60. So the Tombow are roughly 60%, I'd say, more expensive than the packs of Scribbles That Matter. Also, I believe that it's important to read real quick what Scribbles That Matter stated about their new product. So I'm gonna go over this real quick, but basically what they're saying is that they collaborated with a third party to make these, so this product is not 100% coming from within Scribbles That Matter. And also they did that because they felt that on the company a pack of highlighter was actually pretty expensive, so they focused more on the price and on offering a good selection instead of the quality itself, I'd say. So as you can read here, if you already have brush pens, fine liner, and highlighters on your desk, you don't need these. Truly, you don't. But if you're someone who's looking for any of these in $24.99, we have tried to make you the most bang for your buck. So with that in mind, I'm not expecting the best pens out there, but let's see what we can get for $24.99. So one of the very first things that I noticed when I opened the pack was that it's very crowded and that it can be quite difficult to actually get a color. I mean, it's easy to get a color from here, but if you really want to get a color from the middle, that could be problematic. So I do see a problem here in the way that you store the pens. I think that what I'm gonna do with these pens is that I'm going to select some colors, and I'm gonna keep these colors in one of my drawers here, so that I can have a better access to them. If we take one pen here, so one of the first things that I notice is that it's super light, like very light. I can barely feel it in my hand, and if I compare it with a Tombow, for example, the Tombow is at least at least twice as heavy, I'd say. One of the things that I like about these pens is definitely the design. I really like the black on white, and something that I noticed here is that the writing here is not always on the same side. So as we can see here, the S, if we take the S as a reference, on this side is on the brush side, while on this other side, the S is actually on the fine liner side. So that's something interesting that we can notice here. The cup is pretty hard. I can tell that this is not going to open whatsoever, so that's a good thing actually. We can put it back and we can write with it. We can do the same with the fine liner. Whoops. Okay, apparently I can't put the thing in, or there is a problem. There is either a problem with me or a problem with the pen. There is definitely a problem with me. I'm not quite sure about the size of the fine liner. Let's see if I can find something on Amazon. Okay, in the description I was not able to find information about the size. I may have to ask Scribbles That Matter to send that information over. So good job on the design. The plastic does feel quite cheap, but you know, I guess you had to pick a choice in order to have a good price. Now, I really want to, you know, try all of them. That's why I created one page for our pens here. I have prepared the spread and we are going to swatch them. Now, I don't know exactly, okay, it's gonna get super messy and hopefully they won't like fall on the floor. So as we can notice here, we don't really have an extra paper or some instructions or actually a description of all the colors, which is actually a big problem, I'd say. One of the things that I really like about the Tombow or the Koi, for example, is that you always have a number and a color. As you can see, I took a Koi here and you have a number, you have a color, so you can reference to a specific color. And that's very important when you start having 60 colors, because if you wanna, you know, go back to one specific color, you know, it's hard. I'm gonna try to swatch them in some order. So what I'm gonna do is that, whoop, okay, they started falling. I'm going to first divide them by colors before doing the swatch. So let's do that. Hopefully I didn't lose any color, so it's already, you know, hard to keep them organized like that. So definitely, Scribbles That Matter, if you're watching, find a way to probably store them better, and maybe a piece of paper, you know, with the description of the 60 numbers. That would be so helpful. Okay, so that was something. So first of all, one of my main concerns is, I'm gonna repeat it again, the fact that these 60 colors are not numbered. Then there is not a way to actually know which color is what. Also, as you may see here, for example, one of the colors actually got lost, and at some point I thought that I had 59 colors and not 60, just because this green over here was rolling somewhere. So as you can see, there is already a problem, because if I can't store the 60 pens, some of them may, you know, roll away and I may not find the color that I want to find. So I think that one of the things that Scribbles should definitely be working on is on actually numbering the colors. I am sure that during the manufacturing they are already using some numbers to, you know, identify one colors from another. So maybe you can keep those numbers and just have them somewhere, so that life would be way easier. In terms of the color palette, I actually really like the colors in here. There is a lot of variety. There are some colors that I really like, some colors that were really unexpected. This color here, for example, is very neonish, but it did not match the color on the cap whatsoever, and that's something that I noticed on other colors. So please keep that in mind, that some colors may not actually look the same. Also, something that I didn't really like a lot was the fine liner in general. In some cases, like here, you can't really see the fine liner, so I don't see myself using it. Also, overall, compared to the Saddler, for example, the fine liner feels pretty cheap, I want to say, so I wasn't really satisfied with the fine liner itself. The brushes are okay, but I think that I really need to test them more. I want to see if there is any ghosting or bleeding through. As you can see here, they hold very well on paper, which is something that I'm very happy with. For those interested, this is a Rhodia gold book, and if I'm not wrong, the paper is 90 grams per square meter, so it's similar, I'd say, to the Leuchtturm 1917, and it holds pretty well, so that's a very good point for the brushes. I want to try the brush again, just to try it out. Something that I can say is that it's very, it doesn't move a lot. It does not move a lot. It's not as flexible as a Tombow, for example, or a Koi brush pen, for example. If I take a Koi here, it's much easier to use, and I feel that it's more flexible, and so you can use it to do like thicker lines and broader lines, while the brush here from the Scribbles That Matter is a little bit sturdier, I'd say, which isn't necessarily a bad thing. I think that I just need to get used to it. As a final test, I'm going to try out if they dry quick or not. Okay, that was pretty good. That was pretty good, as you can see. So the dry is on point. The fine liner dries pretty fast too, so that's a good point. So if we want to wrap it up, do I recommend these brushes? Yes, I think that for the price $24.99, it is a good pack. One of the main problems, the package. There is no way that you can have them here if you want to, you know, pick them easily, and it's very hard to actually pick a color from here. Also, the fact that they're not numbered, so it's very hard to know which color you're using, and if you're looking for a specific color, that's problematic. The brush is good. I think that the quality of the brush is okay compared to the price. It may get some time to actually get used to it, since it's not as flexible to use. The fine liner though is definitely something that I was not really satisfied with. It feels very cheap, and I'd rather use my Staedtler fine liners, my Faber-Castell fine liners over these. The color range is good. There is a variety of colors. Some colors do look pretty similar, but one of the problems is that some colors are very different from what is displayed on the side of the pen. So please keep that in mind, that, you know, some colors may not actually be what you expect them to be. In terms of bleed through and ghosting, I don't see any problem here. They work pretty well. In terms of design, I like the design. I like the design of the pen. The material does feel kind of cheap, but you know, that's what you get for the price. So my final thoughts are, yes, I would definitely recommend it, but if you're looking for something better, one of the packs that I would recommend is, for example, this pack here from Stationery Island UK. I did a review of this pack if you're interested, so go check them out. Or the Koi coloring brush pens, for example. Of course, they don't have the fine liner, but I'd rather have a good brush without the fine liner instead of having a brush and an okay-ish fine liner that I wouldn't use. Also, one of the concerns that I may have is the duration. I don't have any information about it, but it's super light, so it may actually indicate that there's not as much stuff in it. Also, it's not as long as a Tombow, for example, so it definitely lasts less than that. But you know, guys, I'll keep you updated on, you know, the lifespan of these Scribbles That Matter marker pens. So what are your thoughts about this pack of marker pens? Have you got the pack? Do you plan on getting? Please leave a comment down below, because I'd really love to see what you guys think about these marker pens. To conclude, I hope that you guys have a great day wherever you are, and as usual, stay boosted.